I'm gonna do you one better.
Wait, did he just insinuate that he can make a better review than me on a figure I already reviewed?
Yes, I can. Now sit back and relax and enjoy the review. How's it going, guys? It is Plastic Disasta, and today we are going to do the review of the high-grade Gundam the Origin Zaku Half Cannon. So this kit is from the Gundam Origin line, but it's also from the Origin MSD or Mobile Suit Discovery. I did a review of the Gundam local type, so check out that review. I already did like a brief explanation of what the Mobile Suit Discovery is about. But as for the Zaku right there, Zaku's in general, they're just grunt mobile suits in Gundam Universal Century timeline. But this type of Zaku is just more for heavy firepower. I don't know if I already told you guys this, but I do have a thing for heavy firepower. And as for this review, I'm not planning on doing any detail work. Just like what I did on my H1 Titus, you're just gonna see the out-of-box presentation. Starting off with the box art, we see two of the Zaku half cannons firing their weapons, and I really love the line art and the background. It just looks so nice. And I also noticed that the Zakus are like slightly weathered. Taking a look at this side of the box, if you look at this side right here, you see there is two different versions of what kind of weapons it has. And right over here, you see all like the cool weapons and the gimmick. Taking a look at this side of the box, we see a front and rear shot of the Zaku half cannon. We see a familiar line art and the explanation of the Mobile Suit Discovery. And in case you want to read this, feel free to pause and read it whenever you like. Inside the box, we are greeted with 4 bags of runners and a manual. So, looking at the front of the manual, we see a familiar line art, and right down there is a Zaku half cannon with 2 different loadouts, and right over here are information. Once again, feel free to pause the video if you want to read them, and we also have the spec of the mobile suit. So looking inside the manual, it looks like we're going to be using all of the parts. As for building goes, you're going to start out with the body, and then onto the head, the arms, more arms, and you're going to start building the legs. After that, you're putting the model kit together, and it shows how to put the accessories together and how to attach it to the Zaku half cannon. Looking at the back of the manual, we saw a familiar pose from the box, and right over here I also noticed that you had 2 different types of chests, and right down here will show you where to put the marking stickers and a coloring guide if you're planning on painting it. Starting off with runner A1, looks like we're going to have parts for the head, and also there are 2 different head parts for the Zaku half cannon. You can make it the grunt type or the commander type, and looks like we also have parts for the shoulders, parts for the elbow, parts for the hand covers. Runner A2 is going to be the brown parts. I forgot to say runner A1 is light brown, but anyways, runner A2 is going to have parts for the skirts and the waist parts, and looks like we also have parts for the arms and parts for the chest and parts for the back. Runner B1 is going to be the dark brown parts. Looks like we also have parts for the chest and parts for the feet and the knees, and looks like more parts for the feet. I also noticed that on camera it does look black, but if I bring the light closer, yeah, it looks a little more dark brown. And if you're wondering where is B2, well, the thing is that's on the other Zakus, and skipping letter C, we have runner D1 is going to be parts for the joints, and runner D2 is going to be a copy of this section. And in case if you're wondering where is runner C, well, same answer as where is runner B2. Runner E1, we're going back to the light brown parts. Looks like we have parts for the legs and the arms. Runner F, we're going back to the gray parts. Looks like we have parts for the hands, parts for the heat hog, and looks like we have the rest of the parts. And if you look closely at the heat hog, one is longer than the other. Well, I'll explain later on the accessories. Skipping a few more letters later in the alphabet, we have runner I. Again, more gray parts. Looks like we're gonna have parts for the cannon. Runner J is going to be more gray parts, but this time it's going to be made out of rubber. Well, kind of rubbery. It's going to be the hosing parts, and looks like we have an ammo belt, a medium-sized polycap runner. Next, we have a marking sheet. Alright, so that about wraps up the unboxing portion, and I know right away it's going to be a really good kit. So I'm going to put this together and I'm going to show you how great this model kit is. And here is the Zaku half cannon put together. And I know there is a little bug right here. Okay, anyways, as for experience goes, if you built those HG Origin Zakus a while ago and you built like, I don't know, maybe a handful of them, you know what to expect, maybe a few minor differences, but if it's your first time building one of those, you will be amazed. And as for me, I have built Char's Zaku 2, the Origin version, and his Zaku 1, so I already knew what to expect. Good build quality and good articulation. Now I know it may sound like I jumped into the conclusion, but not quite yet. Let's just look at the Zaku itself. When it comes to the surface detail or the design, I just love how nice and modern it looks. Let me give you a 360 look on this kit, and I gotta say, lots of panel lining details, and there is some paint you can fill in, paint details I mean. Because as I said earlier, I have built Char Zaku 2 earlier, and if you're planning on just doing a simple, panel lining, top coat, detail paint, it would look amazing. And remember how I said that we're going to be using all the parts? Well, apparently I was wrong. So, starting off with these extra parts, you do have these extra foot parts. If you don't like the dark brown parts, you always have the light brown parts. And you get this, pretend you didn't see that. Anyways, you get this, I believe it was like this arm gun that goes on the back of the forearm of this arm specifically. I don't consider this like, well, I think I consider this like an extra accessory in my opinion, and at least you have like more creativity when you're customizing this kit. And moving on to the accessories that is official with this kit. So starting off with hands, you get these weapon holding hands, open palm hands, and you get a trigger figure hand for the right side. Well, here's the thing, there is no cover, and if you want to use it, you have to take one of the covers off and place it on the back of the hand. Another thing, there is no gun for the trigger figure hand to use, so apparently you are out of luck. But if you have other Zaku kits, and you are in luck because it is compatible with other Zaku kits, well, the Zaku Origin kits specifically. Next we have the J-type chest. Now as I was building it, I went with the C5, and this is what the J-type looks like. Let me let you have a look at it so you can see the difference. So again, I went with the C5 chest, and this is the J-type. Next you have this commander type headpiece. I went with the Gwen type instead. Two versions of the Heat Hawk. The long one is the active version, and you can set it on the weapon holding hand like that. And the inactive version, you notice there is a peg. You can just insert it on any of these holes, either the side skirts or the back of the skirt. And moving on to the main event, the Gatling gun shoulder cannon, you just place it on this little hole right there. I know the Heat Hawk just fell, and there's a peg right here, and you attach this ammo belt to this hole right there. The 180mm cannon. Now I know what you're asking, can you use both of these shoulder cannons? Well, unfortunately you can't. I mean, you can like switch around, and it's up to you how you want to display it. And going back on the Gatling gun, if you want to attach the ammo belt on the backpack, you have to remove the cover, so I forgot to mention that. And last but not least, the side guns, which attaches to the bottom part of the backpack. Okay, so before I move on to the articulation, I think I should show you how to put on the accessories. There are two ways you can do this. The first way I want to talk about would be the Gatling gun. You see this peg right here? That goes onto this slot right over there. You just attach it on like so. And once again, you take the ammo belt and feed it to the side of the backpack. Just like that. And also, one more thing, would it be cool if you just like detail paint these like anti-air missiles? And anyways, you can store the inactive Heat Hawk, and you can store it anywhere on the side skirt. just like that. And that's, again, the first way you could do it. The second way you could do it, the 180mm cannon, plug it in like so. Alright. And you take these sight guns, and it already has an attachment on it. And you plug it on the side of the backpack. Well, before I do that, you're going to need the cover. Slide it in first. And you're going to do the same thing with the other side gun. And here's how it looks. And I forgot to mention that the handle moves back to front. And to attach it, you just take off the fingers from the hand, put the handle in, and then reattach it. Oh, when you look at that, you can store the heat hawk on the back skirt at an angle like this. Okay, let me just take the accessories off and we'll go right into the articulation. Well, more like take one of the side guns out so I can demonstrate the articulation on these accessories. The head is on a ball joint and it's also on a hinge so it can shift forward and backwards. And if you take off the head, there is a little track right here which you can move the eye side to side like that. You see that I move? This shoulder pad can move out and in, and this one is on a ball joint, but it can go out that far. The arm is on a ball joint. It can swing forward, and look at this. See this? That is a really nice feature. That's kind of an ongoing feature on these Zaku Origin kits. Swivel on the bicep, double bend on the elbow, and the wrist is on a ball joint. The waist is on a ball joint. It can lean back and it can lean forward that far. The front skirt can move up that far. The side skirts is kind of unique. It's kind of like on a track, so you can move forward and backwards just a little bit for more posability, and it's also on the ball joint as well. The back skirt, however, is in a fixed position. The leg can move up that far, move back that far, and the hips are on a swing mechanism. To take a closer look on the swing mechanism, let me just demonstrate it one more time. Notice how the peg moves along with the leg. Thighs swivel, bend at the knee, double jointed, and you get some pretty nice armor separation. The foot can move up that far and is also on a ball joint. Well, I think it's kind of like a hinge and ball joint combination. Anyways, you also get a toe bend, which bends upwards. Let me show you one more time. I mean, I know it's little, but it is there. And as for pivot, it's a pretty small pivot. It's okay. Now, as for the side guns, this one is kind of funny. When I try to rotate it, it easily pops out. But anyways, there is a rotation right here, and for the shoulder cannon, can move up and down. So overall, the articulation is actually really great. Even for modern standards, it's kind of a shame that the feet is a little lacking, but like I said, it's pretty doable. As for size comparisons, here he is right next to the standard size RX 72. Now, since these two, well, of course they're from the same timeline, they're both the same heights of roughly 18 meters. And once again, I'm going to bring in Char's Zaku, just for the hell of it. And since this is Mobile Suit Discovery, here he is right next to the Gundam Local Type FSD version. And here he is next to my custom build Gundam Local Type, the one I build and painted. Really proud of that, by the way. And finally, here he is right next to the Earthrise / Kingdom Optimus Prime and the NECA Godzilla. So going on to my final thoughts, overall, it's a really great kit. During my review, I forgot to point out where the streamlines are at. They would be at the forearms and one going across the spike shoulder. If you are planning on painting it, which I am going to do, you're going to have to do some modifications to it to get rid of it. I forgot to mention that you can attach one of the side guns on the left side while they have the Gatling gun on the right side, because the ammo belt only feeds to the right side. So, like I said, a lot of creativity you can put on this kit. Also, I do have another Zaku 2 in my backlog, which would be this one. This is a 2020 kit, while this one is 2017. So stay tuned for that review. I'm going to do something special with it. Going back to the Zaku half cannon, I recommend this kit. if you don't have a HG Origin Zaku, well, in general, get them all or get one of them. It's a really great kit. So more like they're really great in their own way. Okay, that about wraps up the video. I want to say thank you guys for watching. Now, just a heads up, this is not meant to be an attack to my buddy TFG. He's a really good reviewer. Subscribe to him. This is a running gag we like to do like once a month or once every few months. And I'll even link down to his video or his review of the Zaku half cannon so you can see his perspective. Subscribe to our channel if you want to see more content like this. Don't forget to leave a like and comment as well. And I'll see you guys in the next video.
Overall, I am highly impressed with this model kit. Yeah, I highly recommend it. It's great quality. It's easy to assemble.
Nice review, TFG, but... And as a cherry on top,